Today we are going to talk about pteridophytes. Under plant kingdom, as we can see, it is divided into the following type of plants, that is algae, bryophyta. Fungi could also be there, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Among these, we can classify them under cryptogams and phanerogams. So algae and bryophytes stand under, and also pteridophytes stand under cryptogams, that is non-flowering plants, and phanerogams are gymnosperms and angiosperms, that is the flowering plants. Talking about pteridophytes and we say lower plants, it means we are talking about algae and fungi. And when we are talking about higher plants in comparison to pteridophyta, it means we are talking about angiosperms and gymnosperms. So here pteridophyta, the word pteridophytes came from Greek word which means pteron. Pteron is the word for feather. So the plants comprising of feather-like leaves which are pinnately compound were called as pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are basically the lower vascular plants. It means as compared to gymnosperms and angiosperms, as we discussed, they are lower plants but advanced as compared to algae and bryophyta. Therefore, they are called as vascular plants because bryophytes do not comprise of vascular system. Vascular system is only present in pteridophytes, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Therefore, among the vascular plants, they are lower plants, so lower vascular plants. These are also called as snakes or reptiles of plant kingdom. Actually, in pteridophytes, we see that the sporophyte is independent. As we discussed in bryophyte, the sporophyte was dependent on gametophyte, but here the sporophyte remains independent of the gametophyte. Pteridophytes were the first land plants which formed the forests, and they are also the chief inhabitants of drylands. Drylands is basically the desert areas. For example, here in desert we found one of the pteridophytes such as Equisetum. It is basically found in the drylands. Pteridophytes group have around 13,000 species and 400 genera of living and fossil pteridophytes. One of the example of fossil pteridophytes is Rhynia. Pteridophytes basically originated during the Silurian period of Paleozoic era, but they become abundant, they multiplied and chiefly inhabited the land during the Devonian period of the same Paleozoic era. Five major eras of geological time scale include Archaeozoic era, Proterozoic era, Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era, and the Cenozoic era. The Paleozoic era it is divided into periods and it includes Cambrian period, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and the Permian. The most advanced period of the Paleozoic era is the Permian. So we can see that pteridophytes is basically they originated during the this Silurian period and they become abundant, multiplied during the Devonian period. Further, as we move on, we can see that Mesozoic era was divided into Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. So Jurassic period was followed by a mass extinction due to which major animals and plants they just got extinct, and followed by mass extinction there was this Cretaceous period during which the gymnosperms they become abundant and ferns and cycads were observed during this period. Further, Cenozoic era, which is divided into Tertiary and Quaternary period, during which the gymnosperms were also there, but most abundant and flourishing plants were angiosperms during the advanced stage of the era, that is Cenozoic era. So, as we saw in the geological time scale, that the Paleozoic era could also be called as the era of pteridophytes because they basically originated and they became dominant in the Paleozoic era. Therefore, it is called as the era of pteridophytes. Talking about the habitat of pteridophytes, they can grow in moist and shady places, just like bryophytes, but the plant body, unlike bryophytes, here is sporophytic. In bryophytes, it was gametophytic, which was not differentiated into root, stem, and leaves. But here in pteridophytes, it is sporophytic, which means it is differentiated into root, stem, and leaves. The habitat of pteridophytes could be terrestrial, such as Rhynia, which is one of the fossil, and Pteridium. Equisetum can grow on land, water, and desert. Aquatic species include Marsilia and Salvinia, Azolla also. Xerophytic species of pteridophytes which inhabit the dry lands include Selaginella, Marsilia, and Dryopteris. The sporophytic plants such as pteridophytes, they reproduce by spores. These spores are born inside the sporangium. Spores can be of same size, so we call them homosporous pteridophytes. Same type of spores, it means same size of spores, they are found in Lycopodium and Equisetum, whereas the spores can be of different size as well. Small spores are called as microspores and large spores are called as megaspores. So heterosporous pteridophytes means the spores are of two sizes, small and large. Such spores are found in Selaginella and Pterangia in pteridophytes produce spores, or we can say that the spores in pteridophytes are produced inside the sporangia, as we can see in the picture here. These sporangia are born in groups. They are produced in groups, and these groups of sporangia is called as sori. The leaves that bear these sporangia are called as sporophylls, as we can see in the pictures. The leaves bearing the sporangia are called as sporophylls. Aggregation of sporophyll leads to the formation of a structure called as cone. Cone is also called as strobili. The strobili basically comprises of a stalk and a capsule-like structure, as we can see here. So two types of sporophyll are there which form the cone, megasporophyll and microsporophyll. The megasporophyll basically they represent the microsporangium. Megasporophyll comprises of megasporangium and the microsporophyll comprises of the microsporangium. So megasporangium and microsporangium, they basically represent the female gamete and microsporangium represents the male gametophyte. Female gametophyte and male gametophyte. So megasporangium, which represents the female gametophyte, it forms by the reduction division the megaspore mother cells formed by reduction division the megaspore. The megaspore comprises of the archegonium, whereas the microsporangium, which is formed inside the microsporophyll, leads to the formation of microspores by the reduction division of microspore mother cells. These microspores will form anthrozoids. So these anthrozoids will ultimately fuse with the archegonium in the megaspore and the fertilization event will form zygote. The formation of zygote leads to the formation of embryo after many divisions. The young embryo, it further differentiates and develops into a young sporophyte. As we see, all the pteridophytes, the sporophytic plant body, which is differentiated into stem, root, and leaves. So this is all about the life cycle of pteridophytes.